Welcome into a live edition of Locked On Seminoles as I'm watching the game here, beginning of the fourth quarter, and Florida State obviously struggling a little bit offensively, 23-7. But for the love of mankind, the Florida State Seminoles have a quarterback.
You are Locked On Seminoles, your daily podcast on the Florida State Seminoles. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
As soon as I say that, Florida State scores a touchdown. Mr. Douglas with the touchdown catch. Great throw by Brock Glenn. Heavy traffic in the middle of the field. Ja'Kai, 12-yard score. Florida State, they're actually in the game. Did anybody see this coming other than somebody's parent on the Florida State team? This is great. They're competing. Defense has been on the field all night. Blocked 2 field goals. Run game is completely non-existent for Florida State. I'll discuss the O-line tomorrow. I'm going to share thoughts specifically about that when it matters most. But they're down 23-13. Going for 2 here. You got to give Florida State credit. They've really hung around. This is the kind of resiliency that you must have to compete at any level. Is Florida State as good as Clemson? No. But that doesn't mean you win. It doesn't mean you lose. That means you compete. Right now, I got stats. I got more pages of stats and notes that I can possibly count over here. But all that doesn't mean anything if you're not competing. And Brock Glenn right now is pretty darn good, considering that Mo has been awful at center. He's had at least 3, if not 4 snaps that were either over his head, dribbled to him, to the left, to the right, whatever. I don't know what the deal is with. I'm guessing Maurice Smith is injured. There's no way he can play as bad as he has in that circumstance. But Brock Glenn's got 17 completions tonight, 156 yards. That's not bad. It's really not. Matter of fact, I think that's actually not completely accurate. I'm going to pull up the broadcast. And by the way, congrats to Vanderbilt on a crazy note. It is amazing to me that Vanderbilt would ever beat Alabama, especially the week after Bama beats Georgia. 2-point conversion was a little late. Tried to hit a slant to Benson. There's still not a lot of chemistry with Benson with anybody, although he did make that one crazy catch early in the game. And, of course, there's a freaking penalty. Florida State has just shot itself in the foot so many times. For the game, I've got Brock Glenn, 19-32, 185 yards, 2 touchdowns and a pick. He's really not bad, and to say it mildly. He is a gazillion times better than the former quarterback. There's no way he's coming back in. This is your quarterback moving forward. Barring injury, that's Brock Glenn. He's hustled. He's been beaten to death. He still runs when he has to. Picked up a big first down on this drive as a runner. Good for him. Has no running game. They've got 21 carries for 18 yards, and they're still in the game. As the saying goes, that ain't bad. So I give the young man all the credit in the world. They only have 203 yards of offense, but the resiliency and finding a way and never quitting. Hats off to the FSU staff for getting them up enough. Fans were great from the outset on this game. This is what Florida State should be, minus some goofiness with the penalties and drops. Again, the drops with the receivers. That's very frustrating. But Florida State actually has now, according to what I'm looking at, slightly more time of possession than Clemson. I know that stat's a little iffy, but that's pretty wild. The worst stat right now for Florida State, though, and it's not shocking, third downs, they're 3-13. The good news, they're 3 out of 3 on fourth downs. Did anybody see Florida State being 3 for 3 on fourth downs? I did not. By the way, Brock Glenn, it's not just dink and dunk. He's throwing a ton of bombs down the field. Think about this. He's a redshirt freshman that's barely played. He throws more to the middle of the field and down the field than the fifth-year senior who has a bigger arm. Go figure. This game of football is really bizarre. There's no way around it. And to put it mildly, I find tonight refreshing. It's something to talk about next week. Florida State's off in case you haven't checked the schedule. There'll be a plenty of options to talk about, how they can use the tight ends, like both the freshman tight ends we thought they would play. They've dominated the playing time. Morlock has played some, but very, very little. And to be honest with you, I don't blame the coaching staff for the Noles for mixing it up here, because why would you play the guy that drops the ball as a senior? Put the freshman in, let them do what they do. They're probably not going to be great in the run game, but they got to learn. They're going to make some mistakes. I give them credit. I truly do. I give them credit, because it would have been easy to just say, to heck with it. We're going to go out here and we're just going to throw the football a little here, a little there, just dink and dunk, run the ball. They've taken shots. They've thrown the ball consistently on first down. My stat that I always talk about, first thing on my sheet, first down runs. Florida State didn't have many. Now, they can't block them very well up front. But to give a redshirt freshman the football and say, go out there and throw it against Clemson's pass rush, that's not an easy thing to do. You got to give Florida State staff credit. And as I watch over here on my other screen, I'm sitting here saying to myself, you know what? There's something to work with here. I'm not saying Florida State's going to the playoff or anything crazy. I'm just saying, in every game now, you have something to root for. You have a reason to look to the future. They're down 23-13, 9.5 minutes to go. I mean, is it likely they're going to win? No, but I thought they'd be down by 20, 25 right now. Their defense did not allow Clemson to score in the third quarter. Now, Clemson's moved the ball a lot. The run game in particular is concerning for me, but at the same time, I mean, it is Clemson's offense is pretty good. They've got 156 yards on the ground. That's a lot, but they're keeping them out of the end zone. It's crazy. By the way, the 2 field goal blocks, that's pretty cool. And it's really interesting to me that Clemson just moves the ball, but doesn't get anything done really in the red zone. It's pretty wild. There's another big run. Oh, Moffitt just took off. As soon as I said the run game, there he goes. Wow. Terrible run defense by Florida State. Not bad. Terrible. That was a semi could have ran through. And Moffitt is about as big as a semi. He's 230 at least. That is just garbage. But I think Florida State's defense, for the most part, they've tried at least. Poor run gap fit. Who is that? What number is that? 2 guys go to the same gap. Never a good sign. Oh, that's Riley. Riley went to the same gap as the defensive lineman. That never works. He's another senior. I have no idea what he's doing there, but whatever. Clemson is now knocking on the door. First down and 10, 9:03 left. They are at the 16-yard line, 1st and 10, Tigers. Here comes the big fella again. He gets 5 more. Florida State's defense hanging in there, but now they've been completely gashed. 2 carries for 64 yards in the quarter. That's pretty wild. Florida State only has 234 yards of offense, but here's a little something. There's 9.5 minutes to go. In the first 5 games, Florida State has not went over 300 yards of offense in a game. They've got a shot. They only got 66 more yards to go. Sounds crazy. In 5 games, they have not gone over 300 yards. They might do it against Clemson. So, however it works out, you're looking for small victories here, man. Looking for small victories. Oh, nice job there stacking up Phil Moffitt. It will be 3rd down, 4-ish, I believe. 8 minutes remaining on the clock. Clemson's going to get a field goal out of this, at least barring another block. They've gotten 2. So Clemson's red zone offense stinks right now for some reason. I'm a little surprised by that. Moffitt right here, 20 carries, 136 yards on the night. He is a good football player. 3rd down and 4. They must get it to the 6-yard line. It'll be interesting to see what they do. I'd imagine they'll give Klubnik a 2-way go. If they don't just drop back, I'd be a little surprised. It's a pretty compressed area. Florida State, they're in man coverage. They're going to run. Oh, he got murdered on this boy. Great job, Daniel Lyons. He busted through. There was a bust on the backside. He chased down Klubnik. Daniel Lyons pretty athletic for a big guy, man. Another solid red zone stop. That's what saved him in the Cal game. They'd move the ball down the field, kind of like Klubnik has tonight, but they couldn't punch it. Again, you're looking for any victory you can get. So congrats to Florida State's defense for hanging in there. That's all you can ask. Getting this off week is going to help them. For those of you who don't know, Otto, the redshirt freshman, is starting at right guard. He's not ready. He struggled tonight. They need to get some guys back healthy and figure out this offensive line. The offensive line has been really bad tonight. Field goal is good by the Tigers. It will be 26-13. 6:38 remains in this football game. Kickoff coming up in just a moment. While I'm thinking of it, I'm going to take a quick break here. But again, thank you once again for checking out another live show here on Locked On Seminoles. I'll have a show tomorrow night, kind of going over the game after I go back through it, see some different things, talk about some different players. But I'll put this live show up on the main page of YouTube and all the different areas, any different platform you want, whether it's Castbox, whether it's Amazon, whether it's Apple or Spotify. You can check them out there. We'll be right back with more Locked On Seminoles. Hey, NFL fans, you can start the season with a big return on FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. So when you get a hunch in the middle of the game, you can check out the latest stats, view live play-by-play, and so much more on the same page where you place your bets. You'll get started with $200 in bonus bets guaranteed when you place your first $5 bet. That's FanDuel.com. I'm curious to see what Florida State comes out here and does. There's not a lot of time left. 7 minutes to go, something like that. 6 minutes, whatever it is. You have a redshirt freshman quarterback out there. Let's see if he can make it, because they're going to just pin their ears back now with this offensive line playing as poorly as it has, and Mo snapping the ball terrible. I'm curious to see what happens. Going to dive into the chat a little bit here, just while I got a little break. Let's see. Yeah, Vashawn makes it. This is one of the first things from the chat. 1 minute into the chat, Vashawn says, have to keep Brock in. Yeah, like I was hoping that Crumman Hawk would get a play tonight, but Brock looked pretty comfortable, so they didn't put Luke in. I'm cool with that. I get it. I think he's your quarterback moving forward after DJ gets back. And I'm not trying to pick on DJ or anything like that. Obviously, I've been harsh on it because he's been bad, but it's not close. The body language, the way he throws the ball, the way he throws in the middle of the field, it is not competitive. Give me Brock Glenn way over DJ Uyunglele. It's not even competitive. Surfer RC, Brock is clearly better. Amazing how the coaches were blind for 5 games. He's not wrong. He's not wrong. Fashawn. First half, I seen Clemson by 50. I mean, if they'd have made a couple more plays in the red zone, they'd have been in the 30s in the first half. Here's a stat for it. I'll go over all this stuff tomorrow. Clemson had 20 first downs in the first half, but only 23 points. For whatever reason, Klubnik between the 20s is as good a quarterback, and not the best there is in the country. In the red zone, he's just okay. I don't know what that is, because he's been really accurate for most of the night, but their offensive line's not dominant, and quite frankly, they've just lost the battle in the red zone. I think they've lost the battle, talking about Florida State, on the headsets overall, but in the red zone they haven't. They definitely have not. Let's see. Messiah, I literally told you they would compete. Oh, I knew they'd compete. I just thought they'd get killed because I didn't think Brock would play well. He's played way better than I thought. And there are very few times that I like being wrong. This is one of them. Surfer. Yeah, this is the one that ticks me off. Lots of drops again, too. Tonight, Surfer's exact quote, lots of drops, too. Surfer RC, you are 100% correct. That is annoying, man. Like, y'all getting scholarships over and over every week. Come on, man. Imagine if Brock had all the snaps in the spring, summer, fall in 5 games. 100%. That's a big deal. But he has not. He's going deep again here. Another drop. I don't, Oh, boy. But I'm not even, come on, man. This is bad. Right in the hand. Oh, my God. Oh, it's just painful to watch, bro. It's just painful to watch. But as the saying goes, you can't do anything about it. So it's fourth downs. He's been beaten up. Third downs, he's been beaten up. Sacked T.J. Parker. Shocker. Knew he'd eventually get home on one. Drop back, and they know they're coming. This is going to be hard. It's third and a mile now. That's why dropping the football on a bomb is no good. Yeah. Mekhi Danzy, the freshman running back, was the one that dropped that bomb. 3rd and 15 for the Noles. And here comes Clemson's pass rush, and he gets annihilated and throws it out of bounds. But you just can't be in 3rd and 15 against quality pass rushes. Just doesn't work, man. Brock is a warrior. I'll give him credit. He's gotten the bejesus beat out of him, but he's gotten up over and over again. You got to give him credit for that. 4th and a mile, you got to punt. So it is what it is. But again, I'm happy with the effort of him. He is way, way better than I thought he would be. Congrats to him for stepping up mentally, being ready for the moment, not like just freaking and throwing to the other team. He should have well over 200 yards passing, but drops and penalties have murdered him. He should be at 250. Clemson's got NFL corners. And right now, I don't know if Florida State has any NFL receivers. They've had too many drops. Hakeem hadn't played long enough yet for me to know because he was banged up earlier this year. He might be trending that way. But at the same time, Florida State has to do a lot better in terms of catching the football. It's been bad. Garrett says, we definitely not 1-4 if Brock was the starter from the beginning, 100%. 2-3 would be worst case, but I'd imagine 3-2 would be about right. Bashan, Brock plays with confidence, it seems. I'll go one step further. It's like he doesn't care who's out there. He's got a little gunslinger to him. I'm not saying he's Brett Favre gunslinger, but like he's let it rip. They knew they weren't going to dink and dunk down the field. I talked about that this week. Clemson's got a legit defense. And they're like, okay, we got to hit some chunk plays. They've done that. Now, again, the defense is getting just gashed. Their communication at the second and third level on passing and run defense is so bad. I don't know what's going on. Florida State's going to have multiple guys fired after this season. I'm pretty confident of that. Brock starts in Ireland. We are 5-1 or 4-2. It's possible. You can't tell me it wouldn't have helped. I don't know what the exact record is because every game changes. But that's a whole discussion. That's a whole show. That's a whole week of shows. Woulda, coulda, shoulda. I know. But it's really nice to see Florida State in a scenario where they've got a player out there you kind of rally behind. It'd be fun playing with him. He's not afraid to take shots. He'll run the football when it's 3rd or 4th down. Who's not going to be happy about being around that guy? And he's got a pretty good arm, too. He's got a better arm than I remember. Jim Ike. Those win one more game. Mark it. No, I think they're going to win more than one there, Jim. They've actually got a quarterback right now. Validation from the standpoint that this coaching staff is unable to gauge talent, and that is a problem. Well, this is a great point. This is from Mr. David Harris. Look, a point was made earlier in the chat, and I forget which one of you it was, Vashawn or somebody. I can't remember. Imagine if Brock had taken the reps over the summer with the ones, in fall camp with the ones, through the first 5 games with the ones. Where would he be? They didn't make it a competition. They handed it to DJ. Now, I know DJ plays well in practice, but you got to hedge your bets a little bit and get everybody a few more reps. And B, once he was just god-awful by game 3, there was really nothing left to see. He's a 5th-year senior. He is who he is. So that makes no sense. How many yards rushing for the Noles? Do you really want to know the stat? I can give it to you. It's pretty gross. Right now, the Noles, for the game, have a rushing total of 22 carries for 13 yards. That is 0.6 per carry. Now, there is a couple of things to note on that. Number one, because they got guys injured and stuff, that's a problem. And then there was that really ridiculous snap. I don't know what Mo was doing, but one of the commentators said Manute Bol wouldn't have caught that or whatever. If you don't remember, if you're not old enough to remember, he was like 7'6". So that's not good. Florida State is being outrushed 250 to 13. and they're only down 13. It's crazy. If Fuller could stop the run, he would be a good defensive coordinator. That is from Surfer. Yeah, I don't think Fuller is the answer. I like to use this following phrase a lot. Don't hire your friends as a head coach because it's hard to fire them. And even if you do hire your friends, you've got to be able to fire them. You don't get a Christmas card, who cares? I don't know if he considers him a friend, but at the end of this year, I think considering how much talent Florida State has had and they've just been so inconsistent on defense, that defense is extremely experienced and they're getting gashed. I mean, come on, 250? It's going to be close to 300. He should have scored right there. Moffitt just ran the ball. They're back in the red zone. They're just running over Florida State. This should never happen at Florida State. They are flat running over them. I am completely off the Fuller train. I a little left before tonight, but they're just running base, gap plays, off tackle, quarterback draw. Contain is terrible. I have no interest in that. Norvell now looks like the biggest dumbass on the planet for not starting Glenn 4 games ago. Jeremy Marsh. Can't really argue, man. There's no way you can just tell me he was terrible in practice and came out and did this tonight. There's no way. I'm not saying he's great, but if he'd have got all the reps, where would he be? I agree with everybody tonight. Here's another situation. Once Clemson gets in the red zone, they can't run the ball. I don't know what it is. I guess they're just trying not to throw a pick six or something. They kick a field goal. They don't care. There's 3:45 left. They're just going to kick a field goal here in a second. They don't care. Leftover gaming. Brock Glenn still doesn't look good. He's not good, but you got to remember what he's working with. Receivers aren't consistent. That's being kind. Tight ends are 2 freshmen. That's wild. And the offensive line is so banged up, and they're playing terrible. Mo's playing terrible. I don't know what it is. And remember, I always talk about coaches lie at press conferences. Has he said Mo's hurt? Are you going to tell me suddenly he can't snap a football as a 6th-year senior? Not buying it. You shouldn't be buying it either. This is why gambling, in my opinion, is crazy middle of the season on, because guys get out there and get banged up and you don't hear about it. There's no way Mo is healthy. 0 chance. But also the defense just looks like it's never played run defense. Their gap control is awful. That last drive on the long one, watch Cam Riley and a defensive lineman in the same gap. That didn't go well. This stuff's ridiculous. Let's see. Like I told you, they were going to bring it. They might not win, but they got hard. I'll give them credit. They played hard tonight. Ain't no doubt about it. Terry. He threw for more touchdowns than what he did in his games last season. His arm is better than DJU. That's not true. DJ's got a cannon, but he doesn't always throw him. His decision-making is better. That is fact. He moves in the pocket better. Anybody moves in the pocket better than DJ. Let me help you right there. Antoine Stone. He looks better than DJ. So does my dead grandmother, but Brock's pretty good. Let's see. Leftover gaming. What we got here? Doesn't take much to look better than DJ. 100%. Antoine. These wide receivers haven't helped Brock. They can't catch a cold, man. I don't know what it is. Because, Douglas is pretty good, but he's even had a couple that he probably should have caught. Again, I'll go through all that stuff tomorrow. I just want to have chat tonight. I'm not going to mess with the stats. I want a chance to retool and kind of go through it tomorrow. James Sexton. They lost Bobby's records on this home field. Oh, yeah, it's tough, but it is what it is. How much of DJ's failure is on these wide receivers and tight ends? That's part of it. I mean, they've had a bunch of them, no doubt. Klubnik just got clobbered, but they're going to kick another field goal. I'm not saying DJ is good, but he didn't get any help either. There's no wrong statement there. It's both parties have been subpar. Jeremy Marsh. A 6-year-old man with bricks taped to his feet could play better than DJU. It's not the wide receivers or tight end. I would say they're partially culpable. Leftover. They dropped a lot of passes from him as well. I've seen it. Yeah, you and me both, brother. Look, the receivers, even when they're just wide open, have been really bad about that. I feel terrible for the fans that paid to watch this. They should get a refund. Still screaming for them to get rid of Atkins. Literally has the worst O-line in the NCAA. He might. That's going to be part of my topic tomorrow. Name a team in the Power Four with a worse O-line than Florida State. And, wait for it. Name a team with more career starts on their two deep than Florida State. How is that possible? I know they've had some injuries here and there, but Mo's playing terrible. He's a sixth-year senior. Darius regressed. Another sixth-year senior. How? It's really, really, really bad. R.A. Nixon. Mike crashed on DJ. 100, bro. 100. James Sexton. All they have is a kicker, mascot, cheerleaders, and a band. The rest suck ass. Pretty much. Rhinos. How can FSU be this bad at running? I don't know if that's possible to answer. Right now, again, let me see what the stats are. Florida State, 22 carries, 13 yards, 0.6 yards per tote. Bro, I mean, that's an embarrassment if you're an FCS team. I mean, let's see. R.A. Nixon, Odell, quarterback coach, D coordinator, must go. It's going to be a really tough offseason. Zachary Gibbons, it's embarrassing when you have a center that shoots it for the moon. That is well done, sir. Touche. Mike Merrick, go Knowles. Mike, go nuts. What's up, Mike? SK Simmons, no excuse for this. If the O-line played halfway decent tonight, this would be a field goal or touchdown game right now. Florida State had the ball. At worst. Offensive line is a joke. Leftover gaming. Again, they cannot run because of Atkins O-line. I'm not arguing with you. Again, they have the most experienced O-line in college football, and they are terrible. Not bad. Terrible. It's amazing what Brock has done and the passing game has done when it's 3rd and 6, 3rd and 8 all night. It's ridiculous. These drops are killing me. Yeah, me too, bro. It's not much fun to watch. Jay Corner 1-7. After this game, Mike needs to stop playing the guys that are hurting this team. Play guys that are going to give it their all. I think what he's trying to say with Jay Corner 17 saying, like, if you're dropping the ball, if you're committing dumb penalties, that's something else. I marked a bunch. Man, they just shoot themselves in the foot. Offsides, late hit, false start, just dumb. Then you add the drops. You got to redshirt freshman quarterback. You can't add that stuff in there. King Everett. I've counted more than 5 drops. Wouldn't surprise me. I haven't counted, but that would not surprise me. Can't wait for press conference. That's from James Sexton. You go for it, brother. I have very little interest in that press conference. They're terrible, terrible, terrible. Only a couple guys can catch a football. That's Hemi Knoll for life. To be honest, you're not wrong. Field goal was good for Clemson, 29-13. They're showing a guy on TV right now at ESPN with his shirt off in the stands by himself reading a book. That is Florida State football 2024. Again, in the stands by himself, shirt off, to some old man reading a book, not watching the game. What does that tell you about Florida State football right now? Kate, Brock has only ran the ball 2 times. One of those was a play call. I thought we'd see Brock open up the run game, but Mike hasn't tried. I said this before yesterday. I don't think that's because he can't run. They can't get him hurt. They got 2 scholarship quarterbacks right now. That sucks. And he can run. He can't take hits. They knew he was going to get some hits in the pass rush anyway. They're trying not to get him killed. I'm convinced of that. Jeremy Marsh. Yeah, let's see Norvell defend that decision to leave DJ as a starter for so long. Yeah, good luck with that. David Thatcher. Whole Knoll offensive staff should be fired on Sunday, plus Shannon. I mean, I can't hate on you for that statement. King Everett. Brock Glenn isn't even the problem. No, he's not. He's got a chance, man. He's a pretty good-looking quarterback. Zachary Gibbons. We have seen that before. King Everett. Mike Norvell does not give him an offense to work with. I don't think anybody does because he can't recruit well enough, but that's another story. This isn't football from Mike Everett. Oh, man. Oh, Hemi for Night. Oh, really? Hemi Noel for Life. That was the same book guy from a few years ago. I don't remember that. My memory is atrocious, but nonetheless. All right, 1st and 10 for Brock. Checked out and a drop. Amari. No, Landon. It's even happening with the freshmen now. I mean, it's just insane how many drops there's been. This is disgusting. Bishop Sycamore would beat us. I don't know where that's at, but that's not a good sign. Zachary Gibbons. That's what we do instead of bag on the head. We go shirtless to games and read books. That is hilarious. Bro, that is some funny stuff right there. Give your props, Zachary. That's good. All right, 2nd and 10. Brock throws down. Again, he hits Landon. Landon gets 9 yards out to the 31-yard line. The arrogance of Mike is appalling. There's no way Brock didn't do better than DJ in practice. If other head coaches that are better than him have gone to young, whatever, they think that he isn't too good. I don't know. Like, you can't tell me he wasn't at least competitive with DJ in practice, according to this. I'm sorry. Another game scoring in the teens, shaking my head. That's from Rhinos. Yeah, it's pretty bad. It's pretty bad. Would FSU be 1-4 with Glenn starting every game? No. That is from David Thatcher. I think they'd win at least 2, if not 3 games by now. They're competitive in about every game. You know, it's just DJ's not very good, and the receivers and whatnot aren't very good. So it is what it is. James Sexton. I actually feel bad for Brock. He's the only one trying to win. I don't know about only, but most of them just ain't very good at it. Leftover gaming. I mean, nobody in their right mind thought we would beat Clemson. Well, correct. At least they've been competitive with them. They've tried. Oh, wow, nice play. Malik Benson with a 4th down catch gets the ball out near midfield. Brock back to pass just under a minute to go. Slides left. Throws it over the middle. Oh, nice catch. Down to the 36-yard line. That's a 1st down and 10 for the Noles. Malik Benson with the catch. Wide receivers dropped a ton of passes. Yeah, Sertan is the only position coach that should stay. Maybe the special teams coach. That's it. That is from NK. Like, the special teams are pretty good for Florida State. 2 blocks tonight. The field goal kicker is good. The punter is good. Kind of hard to complain about special teams. Oh, gosh. Amari had a chance on one there, and he slipped on a deep post. I think Amari Williams is going to be really good. Remember, he's a year early. He should still be in high school. King Everett. Brock would have had a better chance transferring to a MAC team. Oof, that hurts. Andre Buggs. No excuses for a 4th-year staff graded if Norvell can't see he needs to be replaced. It's not a 4th-year staff. It's 5th. They came in at 20, if I remember right. Yeah. So that's even worse. David Thatcher. Does quarterback ever keep ball on zone read? He can. Yeah, that's what it means, reading it. So there's a million variations of that term too. So, oof. Nice play. Amari got banged at the line of scrimmage, but nonetheless. Leftover gaming. How many targets and catches did Hakeem have this game? I will check in 1 second. FSU brass are looking like geniuses giving Norvell an 8-year contract. Let's see what the situation is for the total with Hakeem here. All right. Receiving. Hakeem Williams, targeted. Says 4 times, 4 catches. Landon Thomas led him with 7 catches, 80 yards, freshman. Hakeem Williams, 4 catches, 53 yards. He's a sophomore. Benson, 3 for 39. He's the senior transfer. Jakai, senior, 3 for 21. Kentron, 2 for 16. Tofili, 2 for 3. Amari Williams, 1 for 13. That can't be right. He caught multiple balls. That's wrong. They goofed that up because, I don't know what that's way off. They got him and Landon mixed up or something. And Brian Courtney had that one short pass for 1 for 3. Yeah, Amari caught 2 or 3 balls. But anyway, Brock Glenn, final stat line that I have, 23 of 41, 228, 2 touchdowns, 1 pick, 56%, 114 rating for a college player. That's not bad, considering he was running for his life the entire freaking night. The stat line defensively is what's really interesting, because if you look at the defensive players and the notes with that, for Clemson, they had 2 sacks, 6 tackles for loss, 4 quarterback. They had, whoever did this quarterback hurry thing for the stat broadcast are a bunch of idiots. 4 hurries, it's about 10 or 12. There's no way. But anyway, that's another story. For Florida State, they got 1 sack, 5 tackles for loss, according to this, 5 hurries. Florida State's not getting turnovers and everything. And like the run defense is embarrassing. 40 carries, 265. I mean, that's just garbage. But, and by the way, Florida State finishes 23 carries, 22 yards. But it is what it is. When I come back here in just a second, I just want to take a breath and kind of look at some of the stats. I'll get back into the chat. But, man, Florida State goes down again tonight, 29-13. It could have been a lot worse. And quite honestly, I'm surprised that it wasn't. You got to give Florida State credit for showing up. And I'm kind of proud that they went out there and competed the way that they did. I'll be right back with more Locked On Seminoles. Have you checked out the Game Time app yet? If not, you should download it because it's an easy way for you to find tickets right from the fingertips that you have and your cell phone. All you got to do is download it, check out whatever team you want, type in Dallas Cowboys, Atlanta Braves, whatever it is that you want. Find a game, click on it, and then pick a seat, and it will show you the view from where that seat is in the venue. And it's not just sports. You can check out all kinds of things. Number one, obviously baseball, football, basketball. But if you want to go to a play, if you want to go to a movie, if you want to go to a rock concert, whatever it is, you have an opportunity to check it out on Game Time. It's also an opportunity to get pricing that's all-inclusive. You just set it up inside the app. So take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Download the app, create an account, and use code LOCKEDONCollege for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code LOCKEDONCollege for $20 off. Download Game Time today. What time is it? Game time. All right. It's kind of interesting that Florida State kind of made that charge there. Clemson only scored 6 points in the second half. They kicked 5 field goals, had a couple blocks. Clemson's offense bogged down. Give credit to Florida State's players for doing pretty well in the third quarter. And the fourth quarter, they were probably tired, but they held on. I thought there was going to be a couple more gashes because they gave up a lot of yards between the 20s. Clemson for the game, total yards. Oh, wow. This is bizarre. Clemson, 500 yards on the dot. Florida State, 250 on the dot. That's what this says. It's amazing. Florida State, 22 rushing. I mean, that is just pathetic. But anyway, another stat that it bothers me. I'm not going to go into a big diatribe here. But Florida State had 7 penalties for 75 yards, which is really bad. And some of them are really bad timing, too. A couple of big passing plays, etc. Florida State cannot not afford that. By the way, through 6 games, Florida State has not surpassed 300 yards of offense in any game. That's hard to do. I mean, that is really, really hard to do. But that's where the Noles are. Now, I just want to kind of give my thoughts, and if anybody wants to comment, fire away. I'll answer any questions that I can. But real quick, they should have never beat Cal. Or Cal should never beat Florida State. I think that's what James texted me. Like these teams that Florida State was close with, if they'd had any O-line quarterback play, they could be at 4-2 right now. something like that. Instead, they're 1-5. I mean, the margin of error in these games is pretty slim. And to be honest with you, I'm kind of disappointed we haven't seen something better. Let's see. All right, Messiah. I don't have any interest, to be honest, in what Norvell said. I don't want to see Norvell right now or anything else. He just makes me angry. But I love how they were smiling, hugging, having a good time when they sucked that bad. I don't know if you're being serious, James, but it looked like they played like they wanted to be there. That's the first thing I noticed. So we'll see how that goes. Southern man. Brock looked outstanding tonight. He's a leader. The offensive line is the worst I've seen. It's pathetic, and 53 should be done. Maurice Smith was one of their best players last year. He has regressed so much, it's insane. It's insane. I have no idea if he's hurt, but I would assume that he is, because 6-year seniors don't just start throwing snaps all over the place. Do they? I mean, it's just horrific. Eric. Atkins is a disgrace to coaching. That's fair. Chad Kinzer. Coach Dugans needs to be the one chopping block for the way the wide receiver is looking. Hate to say it because he's a former Knoll, but he ain't getting it done. Zion Equity Group. Brock looked good. DJU should never see the field again. Bingo. King Everett. What type of stuff is on the ball? Bro, these wide receivers drop so many passes. You ain't wrong. Like, Florida State's not bad. They're not bad at receiver. They are horrendous, especially in clutch moments. Saw a running back drop the ball. Saw a tight end. Saw receivers. I mean, it's across the board, but the receivers in particular, they just don't make enough plays, man. They just don't. Sexton says he told Norvell he is. I can't repeat that, brother. Eric Woofros, fire Atkins now. If Norvell doesn't fire Atkins after this season, what's that going to tell you about Norvell's tenure long term? It's not going to be long. Jeremy Marsh, why do coaches get buyouts? You get rich for sucking. Yes, 100%. I'll top it. If you get caught cheating like horrendously, you still get paid. It's the dumbest thing ever. Sean F85. Mo Smith was playing like he had money on the spread. Oof, man, that's rough. DR. Brock should have 300 yards pass. He should have. Ain't no doubt. DR. He made some good throws. Drops killed him. No doubt again. King Everett. JV teams are catching these. Hayden Franklin. This O-line killed any chance we had tonight. The bad snaps and holdings killed all the momentum. It's such a true thing. Like, football is a momentum sport, right? You get a big play down the field like that catch Benson made. That was crazy. Oh, there's penalty. Just ridiculous. They need to check the center's bank account tomorrow from James Sexton. Oh, that's great, man. That is great. Zion Equity Group. Do you think Fuller should be fired? I can't say that he should stay. I'll leave it at that. You judge from there, brother. Eric Woofros. I love Brock. His O-line sucks. Yeah, well, kind of hard to argue with that statement. Messiah. Why did we get a transfer quarterback when we had Brock from the start? He's good. Our receivers are just can't catch. We could use that money on a receiver. Amen to that. King Everett. The amount of holding penalties are insane. They literally ruined our whole drive. Yep. You're not wrong on that one either. Southern man, love your show, man. You're the best. Appreciate it, brother. I truly do. Now, since we're to this point, I want to just kind of roll out a couple of things here. And you can take this any way you like. But Florida State is in a weird spot. O-line is trash, but they got a bunch of seniors. And they're trash. Just trash. And part of it's injury, but seniors that are around aren't playing good either. That's the problem. O-line recruiting 3-4 years ago, 5 years ago is also trash. And that's why they're in the situation they're in. Not good. So I'll talk about it a little bit. I don't know which day, Monday, probably. I'll start doing position breakdowns because, again, we got an off week next week. Like, how can you support anything the O-line has done? That will not be a friendly pod. If you need friendly podcasts, when I do the O-line section, do not tune in. Do not tune in. It will be a hailstorm of ugliness. So there's just no way around that. It's crazy because so many people were bad throughout the season so far. I can't put it into perspective on what's really going on. But it is what it is. While I'm thinking about it, thank you to everybody that's tuning in tonight and that comes in and makes Locked On Seminoles a great podcast. I love the community. I love the cooperation of the chat. Live shows for me the best because you get to find out who people are. You can ask me questions, make comments, whatever you want. You know me by now if you've come in here. No holds bar. If you want just a little bit of sass and a bunch of positives, I'm not your guy. If you want the opportunity to hear the truth, come on down to Locked On Seminoles. I am bottom line, and that's the way it is. Let's see here. Hayden Franklin. Watching Thomas play well instead of Morlock dropping everything was a breath of fresh air. 100%. I remember, again, I've said this on the show many times. I saw Landon when he was a freshman. He was playing on a 15U 7-on-7 team. It was hilarious. He looked like the Jolly Green Giant out there. He was at least 6'4" already. And nobody could guard him. I was like, I'd take that kid right now. And, of course, he ends up being an elite recruit. Norvell better fire Power 4 coaches. I 100% agree. At minimum, I expect 3 coaching changes after this season. I'm not going to go into names until after the season. But the day after the season, I'm going to have I don't know exactly what I'll name it, but it'll be something to the following effect. The Who Should Be Fired from Florida State's Coaching Staff podcast. A to B, unless some guy's already gone. Literally, the day after. Who should be fired from Florida State's coaching staff podcast. I do not care. Let's see. Alabama got beat by Vanderbilt. It's a weird year. That's from Eric LaFruse. Yeah, look, bro. The last time Vandy beat Bama was 40 years ago. I was 11. I was collecting baseball cards and not caring about anything. You know what I mean? W podcast. I'm not sure what you mean by that, King, but Cubs to 0209. These skill players can't catch a freaking cold. Also, Maurice Smith has been here for a decade, and now he can't snap the ball. Like, I don't get it, man. He's got to be injured. He has to be injured. If he's not, what in the world is going on? He was awful tonight. I call it like I see it. Washington straight up clotheslining LT is the epitome of what this season is. Leftover gaming. Remember when the media was saying our O-line was going to be one of the top in the country? I thought it would be pretty good. I didn't think we'd be top of the country, but they had a ton of experience. I thought they'd be solid. They're garbage. They're garbage. Slumbering Calusis. Wasn't the tight end coach putting O-linemen in the NFL at TCU? That I don't know. That I do not know. Southern Man. When are you live again? That's a great question. Probably going to do something early to midweek, Tuesday or Wednesday. I need to get through a couple of shows. Kind of like just, again, I got stats galore on this notepad. Get through tomorrow. I'll probably do Monday, do something early evening, right before. I don't know what they're doing for Monday Night Football. You know what? Make it Tuesday because a lot of people watch Monday. Let's do Tuesday night live show because there's no college or pro on Tuesday night. That makes sense. I might have a show earlier in the day, something basic, a recruiting show or something like that, but then do a live show Tuesday. Everybody can go back through, watch the game a little bit, highlights, break down stats, talk to friends. What did they see? Anything you want. Bring your thoughts back in. We'll do something. May not be a super long show. I don't know. But here are the positives I see it about Florida State right now. Obviously, you found a quarterback. Hallelujah. Praise the Lord. Florida State can throw a pass forward now instead of backwards. That's a good start. Defense played hard. They didn't play well. They played hard. And they bowed up like crazy in the red zone. They blocked 2 field goals. That's pretty good. I think you've got some tight ends. Obviously, you got some young tight ends. There ain't no doubt about that. Running game, I have no idea if you got running backs because the O-line's garbage. Linebackers are inconsistent. DJ Lundy didn't play tonight. That hurt him. Graham and other guys played, so it's a little better, but the program's finally moved up a little bit. King Everett, can we please ship DJU in the box, send him back to Circle K? I never want to see him in Tally again. Yeah, I get it, brother. Parabellum, Norvell is not a long-term coach at Florida State. He is on thin ice. I agree. Jeremy Marsh, put Norvell in that box with DJ. His insanity is unbelievable. Surfer, how many perfect or good throws were dropped? 3 to 5. There were a couple others that were a little off. There were more than 5 drops by the way I calculate. A couple weren't perfect balls. There was a slant. Even to Douglas, who's a good player, he dropped one in the middle. They were backed up. It was a good enough pass to catch it. He dropped it. When you're struggling, you can't miss those. Bro, you cannot miss those. Sam Gibson, Adkins, Shannon, and Dugans need to be gone. Sorry, Dugans. I don't disagree. Andre Bugs. Norvell is not the answer for the future. It's Norvell or the athletic director. It's cheaper to let the athletic director go first. Christopher P. Maurice been the same since he's been at Florida State, if you think about it. He had some good stretches and he's always competed. But like right now, he's just garbage. Hoping Brock didn't get injured on that last play. Looked like he got up a little gimpy. I didn't really think about it, to be honest. Kalu, Mike Norvell should have started Glenn from the second game so he could have more experience. Eric, our young players that look significantly better than our experienced players. That's sad, isn't it? Eric LaFruz with a good comment there. Southern Man. Brock's decision-making and leadership were excellent, and the kid has a rifle. When I saw him at Elite 11 a couple years ago, he had a solid arm, but his arm strength has improved. There is no question. He's thicker and stronger now, too. There's no doubt. He's probably gained 15, 20 pounds. Jermaine J. Williams. FSU went from complete trash to playing well enough to win, but finding a way to lose. You know what's funny about that, Jermaine? You're right, but it's still a major step up instead of just getting your head kicked in. I mean, last week against SMU, that wasn't much fun at all. Leftover. They've been dropping passes all season. True. I don't understand. Where is the accountability from the coaches? You simply cannot have this. No argument, brother. King Everett. We also need to get a new rub in the portal, running back in the portal. My God, this rushing attack is horrid. They didn't have nowhere to go, man. Like it's embarrassing how bad the O-line is in the run game. It's sickening. How FSU got 22 yards on 23 carries. Now, we got to remember, a couple of those are on scrambles from Brock. There was a 10-yard run he moved the pile from Cam because he's a horse. That's like 20 of their 22 yards. Literally. It's bad. Surfer. Do you think we should be 4-2 or at least 3-3 if Brock started the Ireland game? 3-3 would be like minimum. Think about it this way. SMU's only game they got just crushed. That's it. The game tonight, they were banged up O-line and they've been playing bad anyway. That was probably going to be a loss. So those are two. Okay. They beat Cal. The game against Georgia Tech goes down to the wire. You can't tell me he's going to play worse than DJ did in that game. You have the circumstances with the other couple games. Do you really think that BC wins? Maybe, maybe not. But like that's the game in particular. DJ just looked deer in the headlights early. BC didn't do anything special with their offense. They just ran the ball. Florida State's defense was pretty bad. You know what I mean? Like there was nothing about those games that was special. The Memphis game is probably the most frustrating. The defense played pretty good in the second half, gave up one score, and the offense was garbage. You might have come back and won that game. I think they're 3-3 at least. They're like just conservatively. It's so bad. It's so bad. I don't think the running backs are the problem. It's the O-line. From Hayden Franklin, I agree. King Everett, Cam Davis and LT got no help, and Cam got zero vision. I think they're just afraid to get hit. They see any sliver and they just take it because they don't think they're going anywhere. They have no confidence in guys in front of them. Do you blame them? I wouldn't. Glenn seemed to be holding his growing. I don't know what that means, Sam. Sorry, buddy. Sean, Brock looks like he pulled a groin towards the end. Hopefully he just got hit there. He might have. You never know with that kind of stuff. Eric, imagine what this season would have looked like with the good O-line. Completely freaking different. That's what it would have looked like. Southern Man, how many times are we going to hear, and at Norvell's presser? He's a really frantic guy, not the best public speaker. And I'm not saying that I'm God's gift at it. I'm not Martin Luther King or anything. But at the same time, Norvell, he's a very fidgety dude. He's always nervous. I don't like watching his press conferences very much. He's an intelligent guy and he's a nice guy, but he's just not very well spoken in front of a microphone. Couple more thoughts, and I'm just going to wrap it up here. And again, I'll have a show tomorrow. I'm going to probably in the afternoon. I need to go over stuff. I'm going to take this show, break it into 2 sections, and then put it up on Locked On Seminoles, part 1 and part 2 of the live show. But here's a big comment overall. Florida State has improved. Now you're probably saying, well, they lost by 16. They could have lost by 50. There were parts of that third quarter where neither team played well in the third quarter offensively. The defenses played better. But Florida State struggled so bad running the ball, just dumb drops, penalties. They could have got gashed. They improved. That's 1. 2, it's no question. You have a quarterback. There better not be any more DJs starting. Better not be any. 3, this gives you something to look forward to. Because not only did Brock play, and he had his moments. He had obviously some bonehead plays too. While he was getting his head handed to him by the front 7 of the Clemson Tigers. But you got Amari. You got Landon. You're starting to see some of these freshman receivers, running backs get into the rotation. The blocked field goal, one of them was by a freshman or a redshirt freshman. You got another, the seniors and the juniors of the D-line, they don't play the run very well. They can pass rush halfway decent. They competed. Ton of mistakes in the back 7. That's a problem, especially with run gap fits, but they still play hard. I was worried there were going to be guys quit this week. That did not happen. So just want to say that. I guess there's a couple more comments here in the chat. I'll check that out. What we got here. Surfer, we will start younger O-line players. I think they probably will pretty soon. Andre, for those who don't know, Ott started, I believe it was right guard, if I remember right, right guard. He's probably not ready, but he started tonight. Brock with a full spring off season and fall camp at the start of FSU would be 4-2 because of Brooks. Wegg's different play call. Yeah, you got to have the reps as quarterback, man. It's really important. He is coaching Florida State like a group of 5 conference, not Power 5, talking about Norvell. You're not wrong. Quarterback changed the attitude and look to the team. Eric Lafros, love your show. Thanks for all you do. Thank you, Eric. I appreciate that, brother. I truly do. Let's see here. King Everett, where is Julian Armella? That's a great question. I don't know the answer to that. Christian Lee, Dugans and Atkins has to go. The position groups there, coaching sucks at least 3 touchdowns left on that from drops and miscues. No argument. Christian Lee, Dugans and Atkins has to go. The position groups, that's the same one. Pretty much. All right. Well, that's going to wrap it up here for Locked On Seminoles tonight. Thank you very much for everybody that came in. Please please subscribe, please hit that notification bell and share this podcast. Having a lot of fun with it. Obviously, Florida State struggled tonight, but it's better than what it's been. There's some hope. So with that, I will see you all again. I'll have a show up sometime tomorrow afternoon at the latest. And then on Tuesday, again, for those of you who didn't hear, I will have a live show on Tuesday night. Everybody have a good one. Talk to you soon.